Hi guys, it's Adam here from Blend. We are now on our penultimate day of our 12 days of learning for Black Friday Cyber Monday. Really pleased actually today to have Ryan with us from ReCharge. ReCharge have been an absolutely fantastic partner to us over the past couple of years. They obviously work with some great clients and have helped us do some really great solutions with the clients that we work with too. So real pleasure to have Ryan with us to obviously tell us about using obviously ReCharge, not only for Black Friday Cyber Monday, but also before that and after it as well, which I think is obviously something really important when you're thinking about Black Friday Cyber Monday generally, that it's also about kind of what happens before and what happens after. So Ryan, thanks very much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Great to be here. Really appreciate the invite from Blend. I've been watching the previous sessions, which have been going great, and hopefully we can keep that standard up today.
I'm sure we will.
Right. Great, yes. So I'm obviously Ryan, partner manager at ReCharge. I think Black Friday Cyber Monday, it's going to be, depending where you read, reports suggest that it's going to be potentially one of the biggest weekends to date, which is really interesting. I think with the kind of current climate with COVID, etc., it's definitely going to be one to remember, I'm sure. So thanks for the invite. Excited to kind of talk today. Today, ultimately, what I want to do is really, I know we want to kind of keep these sessions a bit more kind of short and punchy and to the point, and not want to go into too much detail and keep things at a kind of nice pace. So really wanted to introduce everyone to ReCharge, first of all, if you're not already aware of us. Then I wanted to really look at the reasons, I guess, why you should be looking at subscriptions and how you can do that. And then ultimately moving on to how you can do that with ReCharge. So hopefully by the end of this session, you'll be ready to look at subscriptions or to scale your already existing subscription business and ultimately boost sales over Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and into 2021 as well.
Excellent. So Ron, shall I share the screen?
Yeah, let's if you can share the screen, that'd be great, and then I'll make a move on this.
Wonderful.
Great. Can everyone see that? Can you see that, Adam?
Yeah, that looks looking good.
Great. So like I said, firstly, I wanted to great to be here on this Blend event, Black Friday Cyber Monday. Firstly, I wanted to introduce you to ReCharge. So if you're not aware of kind of who ReCharge are, we were actually founded back in 2014. Our base, our headquarters, is actually Santa Monica in California. We have always been a kind of remote first business, and we actually have staff kind of all across the world, which is, I guess, a model that now pretty much every business is having to replicate. So staff count is a kind of rapidly growing business, 220 marked there. I think we've now come up to the kind of 250 staff mark. Equally, that being said, of our merchant base is growing, kind of day by day it's growing, and we've seen kind of exponential growth over the last few years. Now kind of coming up to that 15,000 merchant mark, which is really exciting. I think subscription space in general is really exciting, and it's nice to be involved in that journey. To make you aware of that, kind of what that 15,000 merchant base looks like and what it's made up of. So we do power a kind of real wide-ranging base of businesses and retailers, everything from a kind of one-man band startup through to kind of some of the most successful D2C subscription-first brands, and even all the way through to kind of enterprise, globally recognized brands, all are kind of utilizing and being powered by the ReCharge platform to power their subscription models. So just a bit of a brief overview to ReCharge if you're not aware of who we are, and hopefully it gives you a bit of an insight to the business and where we're going as well.
Excellent. I'm glad you include Dr. Axe on there as well, Ryan, because they're probably my favorite ReCharge store.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, they're a fantastic brand, really successful, and I'll actually give you a bit of insight to them later on in the presentation. Great. So moving on, I really wanted to, I guess, approach the question of why subscriptions. And if you're not already aware, I know there's been a buzzword for quite a lot of time now, I guess, and really the facts are really quite concrete, and no escaping the reasons why you should be looking at subscriptions. The facts are quite clearly 15% of all online shoppers have now signed up for some form of physical recurring product, which is a huge market. The subscription e-commerce market is now, we're seeing growth of 100% year on year. If you can name another market that is close to that, then I'll tip my hat to you. Equally, that being said, the subscription-based brands' revenues are now outgrowing that of the S&P 500 average 9 times faster. So this is a huge market in terms of the opportunity. It's growing rapidly, and it's becoming so popular now that actually entrant brands who are coming into e-commerce are actually launching subscription first. So it's a whole new wave, a whole new trend of retailers, and a whole new model to be able to think about how you can sell online. And subscription first is a really interesting element to that.
I was going to say, I'll just add in as well, Ryan, there, from our point of view at Blend, we're actually working with 2 brands who are going straight into subscription.
Yeah,
definitely kind of, again, seeing that on the ground as well from our point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it makes complete sense because, one-time products, there's always an element of hope that the customer likes the product and they come back and they repeat that purchase. With a subscription, it's a way to kind of guarantee that return, or hopefully guarantee that return of revenue. Then they're going to be that recurring element is going to be there on a weekly, monthly, ongoing basis. That reliable revenue is gold dust, right? Definitely. So looking at some recharge data to kind of compound these facts, really, we're looking at, I just mentioned one-time products versus subscription products. You can see this is broken down into vertical here. So we're looking at kind of health and wellness, beauty and personal care, fashion and apparel, food and beverage, and even into home goods. When we look at kind of one-time products versus subscriptions, and look at the LTV, lifetime value of the customer, when subscriptions is compared to one-time products, we actually see a 5.7x, so nearly 6x in terms of lifetime value of the customer when they're engaged with a subscription product. So when looking at the reasons why look at subscriptions, it's a hugely growing market. There is such an appetite out there from the consumers, and actually when it looks at LTV, revenue generated from subscription products for merchants is unrivaled. Great. So now I want to move on. Just kind of I wanted to, I guess, answer the question of why. Hopefully I've done that. Also now I wanted to move on to show you, I guess, how you can scale your business, your retail business using subscriptions. There are typically 3 subscription models that I wanted to share with you today. They're going to be broken down into replenishment, curation, and access. So replenishment, this is the first and most obvious and most probably widely used type of subscription model out there. So this is typically for consumable products. The product will typically remain the same. It might be varied slightly, but it's typically the frequency that is the main variable there. So these are consumable products, typically in kitchen and bathroom, work really well. Things like deodorant and toothpaste, and products that the same variant that need to be replenished. So this is that typical subscribe and save product where, for example, you have a monthly subscription to a deodorant, and it's going to come through the door each month, and you're happy to kind of keep going through that process. Small is a great example. Small is a UK D2C brand. If you're not aware of them already, they are powered obviously by ReCharge. Their laundry and dishwash products have a really nice ethos around being environmentally friendly, kind of little to no waste, and ultimately really efficient for the end user and the consumer there. So they'd be able to get those products through the door based on how often they wash, how often they need these products. It gets delivered through their letterbox. And like you mentioned also, Dr. Axe there at the top of the call, huge US brand, another great success story using ReCharge from a replenishment perspective. They're actually in a different sector. They are, if you're not aware of them already, it's like a health and supplement business. And it's really their kind of protein products and that are doing particularly well in this subscribe and save element. And I'd say replenishment is probably that most common and most obvious and most widely known element of subscriptions. So secondly, the second kind of model that I wanted to show you today. So I've shown you kind of replenishment, a little bit kind of lesser known, I guess, and a not so obvious point is curation. So curation is essentially brands that have that incredible domain knowledge, that they really understand their market, they really understand their customer, and they know the products that are great in that environment. So like snacks and cosmetics and accessories do particularly well. Brands selling like several products at a time as well, so many variants work really well. And also products of a similar type in general work really well when it comes to curation. And some examples on ReCharge here. Craft Gin Club, again, it may be another brand that you've heard of. I personally subscribe to Craft Gin Club. Shameless plug there. But yeah, it's a great service. It's another great UK brand. As it says on the tin, it's a gin subscription box. Each month you get a beautiful box through the door where they've curated a bottle of gin that I don't think I've ever heard of the gin before. Always tastes amazing. And then to kind of complement that, they provide you and curate these kind of typically from like independent / craft producers of snacks and drinks to really complement the overall experience of the gin that you're getting as well. So it creates this great experience. And what particularly another element to Curation is it works really well from like a present or a gifting side to subscriptions, because it does feel like, even though I've subscribed myself, it's like a nice little present each month that you get delivered to your front door. And who doesn't enjoy gin? Equally, I guess another business in this area who a little bit more niche, but just shows you the kind of wide variant of types of businesses and types of products that are currently being curated and working really well on subscriptions. Boxu, you can see down in there is their brand. They're actually, if you're not aware of them, they're actually authentic Japanese snack boxes. And who'd have thought? But it's working really well. There's huge demand and creates a lot of interest. And it's just another example of, I guess, hopefully some insight and ideas to how you can actually start to generate and increase revenue using Curation's type of subscription. Great. And lastly, I think probably the most interesting model of subscription is something that we've started to pick up and something that we've started to support a lot more over the kind of last year or two. And this is actually access. So this is a membership model. So whereas the previous two models are obviously product based, so with replenishment, you're getting a repeat product that you know that you like, that you want. And when the right merchant provides the right product, you're going to keep going back to that week on week, month on month. And then with Curation, we've got something that's a little bit kind of special. It's something that's been curated for you, and you feel like you're getting that present each month, which is great. And that's typically how merchants are aware of how to use subscriptions. But access is a really interesting area, and this is essentially a membership model. And what you're doing is, instead of using a product to be put onto, it's not the product that is actually on subscription here. Because typically this can work really well in things like apparel, like fashion, and essentially brands that value exclusivity or have a really a highly engaged customer base work well with this model. And an example of what I mean by a membership model is Freshly Picked. So you may be aware of this brand. We have case studies on our site to kind of showcase how well this membership model can work. We Freshly Picked, they are a kind of a kids premium children's shoe business essentially. What they did is they had a really loyal customer base that kept coming back to repeat products. They wanted to find a way of how they could actually engage with that customer more and really develop that brand loyalty. So using ReCharge, they created a membership model that allow them to essentially gain access to a VIP membership model, something along the lines of Amazon Prime that we're aware of, where you pay a subscription, so a monthly or annual fee, and for that you get in return access to certain products. You might get free delivery, for example, and other benefits like credit. So Freshly Picked is a great example here because they launched their membership program called The Fringe. The Fringe was launched. Within 3 months, they'd signed up 10,000 customers to that program, and they found they had a 97% retention rate. Within that membership model, they had 20% off, 20% wide discount off all their clothing and shoes. They had free delivery for a year, and also they were building up store credit using an integration that works inside that ReCharge ecosystem. And it just goes to show that 97% retention rate, they were absolutely right to nail into that. They had a great customer base, really engaged already, and they took advantage of using the ReCharge platform to build out this membership model. They're actually a US-based business, and what's I think really exciting is the opportunity in the UK to really start to see these opportunities for the membership models. There's definitely an appetite out there. So if there's any merchants listening who feel this might be of interest, I would fully recommend getting in touch with myself or Adam to explore opportunities around these membership models.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, just on that front, Ryan, when it comes to the access thing, I think this is something, like you say, that quite a few brands haven't necessarily yet considered. But I think, you know, even thinking about, you know, this time of the year, you know, in September where we are now, it would be tight. But if, you know, if you could launch this membership model ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I agree.
It's a massive area that I think is going to become more tapped into, particularly over the next 12 months. So yeah, I'm very excited about the access side of things. Absolutely.
Yeah, and same here. And you know, always willing to talk to anyone about opportunities there and kind of give further insight if needed. Yeah, and I'm sure that 2021 is going to be a real push on the membership side, because it's you know, it's something that it's just green space at the moment. It's all opportunity to be had.
Definitely, and I think, you know, more generally with subscriptions, you know, regardless of where you're watching this from right now, you know, I think that the main thing is, in all of our lives, we've all had that kind of level of uncertainty about what's happening and kind of that inconsistency. And I think that's why subscription products are doing so well at the moment, because it's that, you know, it's that structured, knowing that you're going to get something. Particularly the replenishment model fits in very well for that. But I think equally, you know, in terms of the curation as well, it's almost like you say, that kind of gift feeling for it. And the thing that I'm very interested in too is that I feel at the moment that people looking at giving subscriptions as a gift item is something that is not being tapped into enough. So we've actually worked with a couple of brands that are doing that now, and have seen some really good results, because again, it's something that feels quite fresh. And to a lot of the market, you know, to a lot of consumers, they don't necessarily think of gifting that subscription. I think the other thing about that too is that, you know, it doesn't have to be thinking about traditional subscription of, okay, it's going to be a 12-month thing. It could be, well, actually, you know, you're going to give them a 3-month subscription to, say, for example, Craft Gin Club, or, you know, another kind of subscription where they're going to get that repeating gift essentially for the 3 months afterwards. And you think about that as a value of a gift versus the price that you actually pay. It's massive.
Yeah, exactly. And there's opportunity across all three of those models. And you know, it's great that you're already engaging with merchants who are doing this, and, you know, and I'm looking forward to seeing who else you can bring in into ReCharge, and see who else we can help power. And yeah, those three models, you know, replenishment, curation, and access, really exciting areas, all have their own benefits. And in fact, they can all be used at the same time equally. So I guess it's really up to the merchants to understand their business, understand where the opportunity lies for them, and then work out which model will suit them best. And then talk to us, and we'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah, fantastic. And thanks, guys. As Ryan said, do reach out to either ReCharge or to us at Blend. Be certainly very happy to help. And the guys at ReCharge have got a lot of good content on their site, and particularly their case studies too, which I think are very helpful in terms of, you know, have a look at the freshly picked one if you're thinking about the access model, because there's lots of good information in there about kind of how it was done and how it continues to be done as well. So Ryan, I was going to say, are there any sort of closing remarks you'd like to make before we jump off?
Yeah, no, thank you. Again, thanks for having me on. I just wanted to bring here, obviously, the reason behind why you would choose ReCharge. We've obviously got we've spent a lot of time really increasing our kind of developer tools and APIs to really build a fully kind of customizable subscription experience, from the front end all the way from product pages to checkout and customer portal. We have a great kind of ecosystem of enterprise grade integrations that you can plug in and play with ReCharge to bolster the whole experience. And that also is backed up by our enhanced analytics suites to really understand and, you know, split your data into cohorts to, in granular detail, understand lifetime value, average order and value, and churn rates to help power your growth on the platform. Thanks again for having me. If you'd like to reach out directly to me, my email address is rforster@rechargeapps.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. And equally, if there's merchants out there looking at opportunities, get in touch with Adam and Blend, and I'm sure they'll be happy to discuss any opportunities there.
Superb. So guys, if you've got any questions, so that if you're watching this on replay, please do obviously feel free to continue to just put those comments in. I'll make sure that Ryan gets obviously those, and if there's things that we can help with as well at Blend, obviously I'll answer those too. And yeah, just a nice comment from Marcus here. So thanks for joining us, Marcus. He enjoyed it, so that was great. And yeah, we'll see you all very soon. So guys, tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST or 3 p.m. UK, and we'll be in for our last of our 12 days of Black Friday Cyber Monday learning. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.